Hello, and welcome to another episode of Assassin's Creed Syndicate. We are at 97% completion for this game, which is almost over actually. Let's just do a quick check to see if this game works, and it does not because none of the helix glitches I am missing are showing up. So it may be like 99% or 98%. But as far as like the actual gameplay and stuff goes, we are almost done. To start out, I'm going to go around to the Aberline and O'Doyle areas and play the finishing cutscenes for them, because similar to the historic figure missions and the Robert Topping missions and the Ned stuff, even though their stuff is part of the burrow clearing stuff, gameplay there, they still do have cutscenes at the end to give you one final little smile before it's all over. We can take the carriage of these ones. I'm not too worried about glitches or anything, or crashes. And I'm starting to think it might have a little bit to do, those crashes, also with using eagle vision while driving around. Like maybe the game has to load too much in, since it needs to sense things and register things that simply aren't on the screen. Those two just popped into existence. Alright, Freddy.
Oh, Freddy. I hardly recognized you in your police togs.
You certainly scrub up well.
I thank you for your help in collecting these bounties. I am impressed with all you have accomplished, and I wish you luck with your future endeavors.
That's about as emotional as he's willing to get with these two. He's pretty clearly tired of Jacob and Evie, more so Jacob than Evie, obviously. But, you know, they did get the job done. So he can't be too upset. Even if Jacob almost destabilized all of London multiple times. If you have the Jack the Ripper DLC, he reappears. But I do not. Carriage, that'll be a little bit faster. In fact, there's a friendly carriage right here, so we'll just hop on in with Burly Bald Man here. Hopefully not get stuck. This was not a very good route. It's a good thing they didn't blame me for that.
Back at me.
You've done a wonderful job of helping the children of this city.
So what you're saying is, I'm a hero.
We pitched in what we could to properly express our gratitude.
Thank you, Clara.
You'll feel my fist if you keep on.
Oh, that guy's upset. Look at this, these guys don't even care. Here. Doesn't even matter.
You're embarrassing yourself.
Let's just get away from this guy. So you might have noticed I have not done everything there's to do so far. There's still one last set of missions. Oh wait, Henry Green. Right. Could have sworn that the pressed flower stuff was his final cutscene. I guess not. That just kind of ruins the surprise, doesn't it? Jacob. Go down the slow way, at least go down the slow way in the right direction. Just climb up. It can actually be kinda tricky to get down from up here. It was tricky when I was getting the helix glitches. Now it's less tricky. Hey, Greenie.
Oh, good. You're both here. I have something to give you.
That really isn't necessary.
More gifts? You spoil me, Greenie.
Templar numbers are dwindling, and I hate to admit it, but the Rooks are thriving.
Did you hear that, Evie? Thriving.
Your time in London has been well spent. I'm proud of you.
Well spent indeed. We managed to topple an entire Templar empire in literal months. The only person who can boast something even close to that is Altair. Alright, now, why the fuck are we all the way over here? Now you might have noticed I have not done everything. That's because I decided to save the Darwin missions for last. Because I want to. So, let's go through and play these missions and I'll tell you a bunch of useless facts. That wasn't too loud. I wanted to whistle along with the eagle. Alright, since missions with him in the story were basically bro time between him and Jacob, I think it's only right if we do it here. Hold on, I want to see. Can I do it? Can I stealth kill the messenger? I did it once. I swear, I did it once. I guess there's a bit of an odd audio glitch. Normally he lists off the names of the flowers down here. Like he's challenging himself to recognize them. The Berlin specimen. Protect Darwin's colleague and retrieve a valuable fossil.
didn't know you had a twin sister, Mr. Fry.
Evie Fry, sir. It's a pleasure.
Usually I would reciprocate the sentiment, Miss Fry, but today, I'm afraid nothing will bring me pleasure.
What's troubling you, sir?
I am used to people challenging my ideas. In fact, I live for it, the cut and thrust of spirited debate. Lately, however, attacks against my reputation have taken a darker turn. Threats of violence against my person and against my colleagues. I do not wish anyone to be hurt because of my research.
You helped me with Starrick syrup. I am in your debt.
We help each other, sir.
My brother and I will make sure that you can continue your work in peace.
What do you know of bones?
I know how much pressure it takes to shatter, snap, or splinter one.
Perhaps it would be simpler if I just explained the situation. A few days ago, a German colleague, Dr. Schwartz, sent me a telegram. He informed me he was on his way to London to deliver a very important fossil, you see. In fact, he should arrive at Charing Cross any moment now. Would you ensure no harm comes to him?
I'll bring Dr. Schwartz and that fossil to you, Mr. Darwin.
Splendid. But please do be careful.
Mr. Darwin, please don't do that again. That was
Please
so
hurry. I
uncomfortable.
fear Dr. Schwartz might be in danger.
Alright, if you play this with Evie, when Darwin asks what you know... When Darwin asks what you know about bones, she says that she knows a few names of them from various books. So I guess technically Jacob has a little bit more knowledge on the subject as far as being in-depth than Evie. I think it was a nice little quirk of his that he's so observant of biology that he was able to instantly recognize that Jacob and Evie are twins. Although it is not true that Darwin lived for the thrust and curt of debate. In fact, while he did very much try to anticipate his opponent's arguments as much as possible when writing out his works, he didn't really debate people personally. The most he did was argue with colleagues and friends over a few matters. But he's not like T.H. Huxley, who was actively going out and debating people like Richard Owen or Samuel Wilberforce. Just waiting for that guy up there to turn around. Oh, it's two of them. And I waited. Easiest way not to get detected is to make sure there's no witnesses to detect you. Alright, Schwartz should be coming up.
What is the meaning of this?
I'm collecting you and your precious cargo for our friend Mr. Darwin. Just act naturally.
Right. So, how is your father? By which I mean my dear brother Frank, with whom I grew up, of course. Oh, splendid! Wonderful to hear. I'll do my best not to call attention to how remiss he was in forgetting to warn me about the delicate situation which makes me here today.
Alright, so this guy is a cheeky cunt. I'm gonna wait for Big Boy over there to get up the stairs and try to sneak behind him. You just head over there. There's something really interesting there you should see.
Looks like a mess.
There's another dude coming up. Big Boy's still up there. We'll see where he goes. He's going left, so we'll be going right. Come on, Schwartz. Use a Schwartz.
What's happening there?
More trouble from the rabble, I expect.
This probably isn't a Spaceballs reference, his name, but you cannot help but to make the comparison. Who wouldn't want to reference the second least, or maybe third least true to the series? Least true to the Star Wars series movie there is right behind the holiday special and the Last Jedi.
Wouldn't hurt to know what the bugger looks like.
What's happening?
I need to scarp it. What about all the arms bounces about? Wouldn't hurt to know what the bugger looks like.
Alright, here we go.
Dr. Schwartz?
Never got off the train. Darwin's fate is sealed. Goodbye, assassin. I did so enjoy meeting you.
Oh, I'm not even punching the right one. Yeah, I'm the carriage myself. He gets pretty slow when he reaches out of your field of vision. Oh, why did I do that? I'll kill him in the omnibus.
Let's go.
I don't think he even heads toward Darwin at all. This whole thing. Probably doesn't know where Darwin is, to be honest. This was a bad idea.
Now to take this fossil to Darwin.
Yes, I am going to carry his corpse all the way to Charles Darwin. I think the man needs to see. If you are wondering, there hasn't been any known instance where anybody's actually threatened Darwin, like his life or anything. At most, people tried to ruin his reputation, which is essentially just standard in science. You're trying to disprove people's hypothesis. There you go, Charles.
At last! My heart hasn't stopped pounding. You have it? Wonderful! But where is Dr. Schwartz?
Most likely dead, I'm afraid. He never left Germany. At least I managed to get the fossil back.
Dear Lord. I should tell you, I was recently approached by men who sought to purchase all my research on the condition I work only for them. Obviously, I refused. Scientific knowledge cannot be bought. It belongs to everyone. Let these villains do their worst.
Remain undetected. We're able to do that. And so we'll have to go to the next Darwin mission, which is over in Whitechapel. We can still follow our friend here, who seems to take extreme interest in the rain. Yes, Charles, it is indeed raining. How astute. Lomi, you're selling ice cream in the rain. I don't think it's ice cream weather, especially outside. Here's a question though. The Assassin's Creed series has firmly established that Darwin wasn't exactly correct. Like, Adam and Eve were real, and all humans were made by some intelligence. They weren't the product of natural processes, and probably didn't even evolve at all. Yet the Templars here seem to want to discredit him, which will be like even more apparent as the missions go on. Like, I think, again, if this was back when the series was more new and they were more willing to push the envelope and show a little bit of edge, Darwin probably would have been a high-ranking Templar or something. Oh, good grief, the game froze. At least it didn't crash. Hey, Charles. Defamation. Be a deer and fetch Darwin a newspaper. This would be a nice little fake out if they had a different image for it, which we can obviously tell by the red coat and being chased by Jacob. That's a bit more than just fetching Darwin the newspaper. I mean, granted, we should expect that it will be more than just get this guy a newspaper, but they could have played with the joke a little bit better. Alright, Darwin, what do you need?
My
Newspaper?
young friend, today's papers carry a rebuttal of Mr. Owen's slanderous and ignorant remarks about my work. However, I'm feeling quite like a fossil today. Would you be a dear and get me a copy of the newspaper?
Alright then.
Hey, you!
Not allowed to kill him. But look how you died. I'm sorry. That's too funny. That is just simply too funny. Doesn't really make much sense story-wise because, of course, like he's a blighter, the assassins would probably kill without even a second thought these guys, having put up with them for so long. This guy has a set speed that's always gonna be in front of you. I don't think I've ever been able to catch up to this prick and tackle him. And you may think this is, once again, those crazy horse and carriages, just like a lot of the other Let's Play, if you've watched all of the episodes. But no, that's all scripted. For once, it isn't the horse AI acting loopy, they're actually acting exactly as they're supposed to. For whatever reason, Jacob just decides to walk calmly here. No idea why, especially since the aggressor is just going to keep moving forward. Again, flashbacks to the crazy carriage glitch with the failed burrow boss fights. At least we have some nice music. Oh, almost over. Arbitrarily decides, oh fuck it, I'm done running. And you have to tackle him out of the way.
Oh, you saved my life.
Yes. Now here's a question for you. Why would you attack a newsboy?
A man paid me and my mates to force newsboys to display this leaflet. Yeah, take the bloody thing and leave me alone.
This spells trouble for Mr. Darwin.
And there we have cruel caricature. A funny thing, this picture actually was published in 1871, which is a few years after the game takes place, obviously. And thing is, there was a caricature of Darwin. There we go, mission completed, no optional stuff. There was a caricature of Darwin as an ape, published, I think, 1867 or sometime before that, where there's T.H. Huxley also as an ape, holding up these two rings and Darwin jumping through them like a circus animal. It's a bit odd that these would be published, considering that even though it's sort of a little bit... well, it's not implied. Darwin only mentions human evolution once, and only to say that light would be thrown on the origin of man in the origin of species. But it's not too difficult, let's say, to then go from, alright, so if life in general is a product of evolution, then so must man be. By the way, these social glitches don't add to the counter, so they're effectively useless. Sure, you can make that connection, but Darwin himself, at this point, never talked about human evolution. The Descent of Man hasn't been published yet. In fact, the book was published this year by Darwin, which was Variations in Plants and Animals, where he talks a bit more about natural selection and... Can the dream be real? Where he talks a little bit more about natural selection, and it's also where he presented his, unfortunately but not surprising, incorrect hypothesis on how heredity is passed along. Alright, this is exactly how it went the one time that I did it. They walked in a single file and I went 1, 2, 3 on them. But no. I have no idea. Anyways, I really gotta clear my throat, so I'm gonna stop here, stop recording here and do that. And I'll start recording when we get to good old Charles Darwin. And I'm back. And I decided in the meantime to just do a real quick reference check. Real quickly check, and yes, the caricature I talked about that was published in time for this game to take place was in fact published in 1868, specifically in a magazine called The Hornet, and was actually a pro-Darwin cartoon. Here's the picture itself. Nope, that's 1871. And I don't even think this was originally published as anti-Darwin propaganda. Alright, cruel caricature. Track down the source of anti-Darwin propaganda. And I'm decided to play as Evie.
We are not apes. If the circumstances were not so grave, I'd compliment the artist on the wonderful caricature. They are fools if they believe they can stop progress by printing leaflets and killing newsboys. We must find out who is behind this propaganda before more innocents are harmed. I should very much like it if you could find and remove these awful things. Perhaps you can catch one of the bill posters red-handed.
Charles. You alright, buddy? Alright. Actually, it is true that Darwin was pretty lighthearted as far as the caricatures go. Like, one caricature was his head on the body of a gorilla, and he said it was amusing to somebody who visited his house. This was based on a recollection someone had of their visit to the Down house, Darwin's house. He said the caricature was amusing, but criticized the anatomy of the gorilla. I don't know why I'm going for that. I think that's a mobile one. Oh, there it is. And a bunch of Templars defending their drawing. They're very proud of it. Oh, you know I have to. Come on, big boy. Alright. Let's tear that off in a very glitchy manner. As is customary in the Assassin's Creed games. I just realized one of them is like right by the area Darwin's in. Not the one next to him, but in the general area over there. So I get to go all the way back. There's some Templars.
You think it's a crime? I'll come right over.
Should be over there somewhere, I think. Here's something that's a bit odd. Darwin never asks, "Oh, by the way, I read about the death of Dr. Elliotson." Suspiciously, a day after we were outside of Lambeth Asylum talking about what to do with him. Do you know anything about that, Jacob? That guy just does not give a shit. Last time I did this, some woman was standing on the table. Not this time. Alright, the last one is gonna be on a moving vehicles. We're gonna get in our own carriage and just do it the proper way. Get out of the way, people! Templars drew mean pictures of Charles Darwin, damn it! He must be avenged! Eagle vision. There it is. Just hijack this. That is a lot easier than chasing after it and trying to rip it off while it's moving. Now we have to find the source of it. I'm gonna take this cart because it's a lot faster. Alright. that's how you do it with style.
You're gonna get it now!
Stop! Please! I beg you!
Who put you up to this? Why are you spreading slander about Mr. Darwin's theories?
Darwin refused to cooperate with us. We wanted to recruit him, but he rebuffed all our offers. We've tried to intimidate him, blackmail him, but he's a stubborn old git.
I'm dismantling your propaganda press.
Bitch. You do not publish shit about Charlie D. He's my homeboy. In fact, he's so important that, you know, between Charles Dickens and Charles Darwin, Dickens got the C icon, but Darwin got the big D. And of course it's being done in sewers because, hey, you know, we're Templars. We control pretty much everything, every industry in London, so of course we have to publish our anti-Darwin propaganda in the fucking sewers. It's not like there's well-respected scientists out there who publicly disagree with Darwin and publish things against him, like, I don't know, Richard Owen. No, we'll print out our little leaflets in the fucking sewers. Sure, whatever. I mean, take note, you can do these missions, like, as soon as you meet Darwin in the main game, so that's sequence 4. Templars still have a pretty solid grip on London by that point. Oh, wrong way. Literally unplayable. Bit of a close call there. Here's print shop. And we need to sabotage all of them at once. So what we want to do is get rid of these two here. Bring down as many crates of dynamite as we can. And what we're going to try to do is kickstart a chain reaction between them all. Mass. If I throw that there, will it explode? Nope. Alright, we'll try it with these ones first, and if we need more, we'll get down more. So, I guess one good rule of thumb is to base it off of the ring here. So I'm gonna set this right about here, and it should sabotage that machine. So we will drop it. This one here. Drop this one here. As can be a bit of a slow one. Oh, look, they must be so proud of these pictures too, and we're just destroying their art. This is worse than having your Sonic OC stolen by some asshole on DeviantArt. There's a lot of these machines to sabotage at once. And once we set most of them down, I guess we have, we can sort of start to focus on bridging the gaps a little bit between all the dynamite crates. just to better ensure that they'll all go off at once. Alright, let's see, that's there, that's there. Same back here. Doesn't look like it. I think there's one actually back here. Yep. We don't need this one behind here. So, for example, let's set this one here. And we'll go back up and try to get the remaining two up there down. Actually, I think there's 3 up here. We're gonna want to toss these back here so they don't accidentally explode early. I'm not really sure what causes them to explode when tossed or not. Like, it seems fairly random during the Ned missions. Alright, that seems good there, that seems good there. Might put this one right here. And if this fails the first time, I'll cut away, restart, and I'll just not record during the set downs. Corner. And this can be tossed back here. Good, that one's good. Gonna place these. That one there. Where should this one be placed? Because it looks like they should all be accounted for. We'll set it. Just, you know, be absolutely safe and set it there. Alright. Hopefully this works the first time. Bam! You can see it actually did 4 out of 5 at a time and was just the slightest of delay with 5 out of 5. But yep, that's a massacre Jacob Fry would not add. In fact, this seems like a mission better fit for him. Go figure, I switched to Evie now. And we'll head on up. Roll caricature completed, and we managed to sabotage all the printers at once. So, you know, when you're doing that mission, just play it safe and not sorry. Oh my fucking god. None of these assholes are even a messenger. Alright, let's head on over back to Darwin, who is... should be in Westminster right now. That's probably done here. There he is. We'll stick by AV because Darwin and Jacob has had already enough time together. We should take time to meet the other Franklin. And she is supposed to be the intellectual one, so you think they'd make like better friends.
Easy now.
But as the ancient philosopher Sun Tzu once said, "Rose before rose."
Come on! Take that! Come on! Faster!
Oh, you only have one more of those. Might as well try for it on the way over if you can. Lighters riding along. Over here. Lighter. Could do it on the police carriage. But I'll probably end up doing it on this mission, to be honest, because this one does involve a little bit of driving.
Slowly now.
Perfect parking. We'll swim over to our buddy. Come on in, Darwin. The water's great. All 4 feet of it. An abominable mystery. Investigate a strange flower that has appeared in London. Alright.
Ah, my young friend. How good it is to see you. Fortunate, really. It would appear a highly toxic plant, which has the extraordinary effect of making people quite delirious, has been found in this very park. Yet as far as modern science is aware, no such plant exists. I fear the good people of London might be in danger. Will you investigate?
So here's your problem, Darwin. You're relying on modern science. You need to be in tune with your feelings and understand that plants are the social construct. In other words, rely on post-modern science.
They're the only bods that smell better.
And he's just gonna fuck off, I guess. Go investigate this mystery of science. Not me, the actual scientist. And we have to shoot and kill a Templar inside the flower's pollen. Best way to do that is try to scout out the one Templar inside the pollen first. It was like, I think, the last one over.
Not your average flower. Mr. Darwin was right about these plants. Oh, I don't feel well.
I think when Jacob goes into this smoke, he says it's like being in an opium den. Which means that at some point in his life, Jacob has done opium. Oh, there it is. There's no
That's
temple.
one less to worry about.
Quit being such a drama queen. There's a bunch of people and I'm so tempted to take out my voltaic bomb, but there's some Templar assholes inside there. So we are gonna shoot this one. we have to be inside it ourselves, I think. There we go. Nice slow motion, and I do like the visuals of these plants. These are colors you don't see often in this game. And man, does that create a cool effect. Alright.
These footprints must belong to a rogue gardener.
Fuck horticulture. And of course, there's carriage over here. We know what to do. Don't want to get directly behind it if we can help it. And we don't want to run into the tree either. In slow motion, we can do these bomb-ass moves. And of course, Jingle Jangles here drives us
Mr. Darwin
into
will want to inspect his flowers.
a forbidden zone. Alright. Just launch them into the sun, why don't we? That didn't hit. Get out of here.
Come on! Faster! Come on! Easy go.
Well done. But you don't seem quite like yourself, if I may say so. It's just as I suspected. Those noxious fumes are not being released from the flowers, but from the pots. There must be something in there. An hallucinogenic concoction of some kind. Not unlike the soothing syrup, I should think. We must dispose of it, and quickly. I believe, my young friend, that I might know just the place. Who would want to poison the population of London? Who could devise such a nefarious plan? Obviously, it can't be Dr. Elliotson. So who can it be?
An organization my brother and I have been fighting all our lives. Dr. Elliotson was one of them.
I don't need to know more if you do not care to tell me. However, may I be so bold as to suggest that you continue to fight them?
Of course, Mr. Darwin. You can count on us.
Don't bother talk
go.
about the organization literally trying to poison London and the ones who tried to kill me are 18 to neutralize a pursuing card with the flowers. We just do that by driving in front of them. Easy.
Might I suggest you position our carriage directly in front of theirs? I believe the fumes will impair their ability to drive.
Come on!
Done. Well,
Brace for impact.
now we must hurry and destroy our cargo. We're almost there.
Indeed we are. Last time I did this, I accidentally killed Charles Darwin. So I'm going to try to avoid that. Darwin, please get out of the fucking way. I did it again. Ugh, ripping spaghetti, Charles. Alright, where's Darwin? Where are you, Chuck? doesn't seem to be here. I'm pretty sure that over there's a rook. Oh no, there's Darwin. Alright, you just stay back there, alright, buddy?
What an escapade. That's kept me up to no end. The people of London are fortunate to have you on their side, my young friend. Very fortunate indeed. Well, I'd better run now. You will take good care of yourself, won't you?
Oh, what a badass image. That's worthy of a screen cap. And an abominable mystery completed. We shot and killed a Templar inside the flower's pollen. It would be easier if it said while you're in the flower's pollen, or while you're both in the flower's pollen. And we neutralized a pursuing cart with the flower effect. By the way, historical characters are immune. Should have moved some dynamite out of the way, although I do recall trying to blow him up with dynamite outside of the mission, and nope. He's invulnerable. Charles! 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 Get up! You'll never publish your magnum opus about worms when you're on the ground, man. Hey, approaching him. Just can't catch a break. Alright, we'll leave him. I'm sure he'll be completely fine on his own, without any sort of issues whatsoever.
Slow down.
Just completely happy and healthy. We won't have to worry about him anymore, huh? So we'll just do this last Darwin mission, which I'm sure is a nice walk in the park. He's probably going to tell Evie about, I don't know, barnacle penises or something. But you would know, he studied barnacles for 8 years. Some historians wonder if he might have been autistic or not, considering it wasn't a diagnosis or known about back then. And I can tell you right now, if you've studied barnacles for 8 years and admit to have studied worms on and off for 20, you probably are.
Come on!
Funny thing is, when Darwin was young, his father said, like, you know, you care nothing but shooting, rat hunting, and dogs, and you're basically gonna grow up to be a failure. He couldn't become a doctor because he got sick to his stomach over the sight of blood, and he was therefore training to become a priest, since that was sort of the last respectable position for a man of his class. I'm gonna get out and just walk over while I tell you this. And the funny thing is, like, shooting and basically hunting animals and, I don't know, even dogs to some extent were big parts of his voyage, which in turn made him sort of a celebrity among scientists even before he published his theories, because he kept sending all these interesting samples back and making these observations. He was able to live very comfortably well off, and of course, when you hear the word killing is wrong. When you hear the word Darwin, he's probably the first person you think of, or the first thing you think of in general. Like, the guy's had multiple species named after him, operating systems, craters on Mars and the Moon, and Wayne Barlow named an entire solar system after him. Pretty good to a disgrace to a family. Hey Florence, you don't have any side missions. Struggle for existence. Rescue Darwin before it's too late. And there's Darwin in the picture there, and Florence sort of peeking off from the left. Alright, Miss Nightingale, what do you have to say?
The unspeakable has happened. A policeman arrested Mr. Darwin and carried him away as if he were nothing but a common criminal. That policeman, he is corrupt to the bones, I'm sure of it. I do so fear for Mr. Darwin's safety. Miss Nightingale, do you know where they might have gone? The policeman, he did mention a funeral. I believe I know where it is. Follow me. Poor Mr. Darwin has been through so much recently. Those people are trying to discredit a lifetime of work. It's disgraceful. And I fear Mr. Darwin is no longer the fit young man who once traveled the world. Here we are. The obsequies are taking place here.
Alright. What relation did Miss Nightingale have to Charles Darwin? As far as history is concerned, literally none. She was mentioned a few times in family letters, but that's about it. We have to kidnap this guy without being detected. There's just a ton of police around.
Let's do this.
Oi, what are you doing? There's no need for such brutality. What do you want from me?
I need you to be honest with a friend of mine.
Oh, you're a brash one, aren't you?
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
No need for this brutality. I guess you can say Evie is committing police brutality. And not a fit young man since his days on the Beagle. Like, his days on the Beagle were probably the only time he was a fit young man in his adult life. Like maybe a few years after that, he started getting, you know, that illness that hasn't been diagnosed properly. Shit. I mean, we have a strategy. We know where to capture him, it's just bringing him away. But as I was saying, he started to become really ill for most of his life. And pretty much up to his death.
I will wait here.
Now granted, it didn't kill him, but he must have lost years worth of work because of the illness. Alright, there's our guy.
Easy now.
Oi, what are you doing? There's no need for such brutality. What do you want from me?
I need you to be honest with a friend of mine.
Oh, you're a brash one, aren't you?
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
This'll be your funeral too, big boy. So you better do as I say. There's no one here, so we're gonna lower our ring so that asshole doesn't do anything. And away away we go. Like how there's a tiny little yellowish green area on the map for delivery.
This is the culprit.
I was just carrying out my orders.
Arresting an old man and dragging him off to Lord knows where is fine work indeed for a policeman. Now, sir, tell us where you have taken Mr. Darwin.
A man paid me to bring him to his secret base.
How terrible. We will need transportation.
He lives to see another day. We're just gonna get away from those two. I think the reason I failed the previous time was I forgot where the exit was.
There you are. Let us find Mr. Darwin, shall we?
There
With
he
all due
is.
respect, I think.
Alright, now, normally, you'd think we should be going in stealthily, take our time, pick our opportunities, but no, man. My man Chucky D is in trouble. We're going in guns a-blazing. Remember the end of Django Unchained? There he is. Nice, just sleeping.
He's very weak. We shouldn't move Mr. Darwin until I have seen to his wounds.
How do you know he's wounded? He's completely clothed. Like I get, you're a doctor and all, but... Oh, real nice, Nightingale. Real nice. This how you treat all your patients? Not many games let you hold Charles Darwin over like this. Now, in this stage, Charles Darwin is completely invincible. Like, I've taken him over to the rails and dropped him to a train station and dropped him on the rails, and he completely survived. So, I don't know why Nightingale, thinks he's wounded, or how she even treated his wound, considering he never took off his clothes. Get the fuck out of here. Door's here, asshole. Let me show. Anyone else want to come over? Defending my man Chucky D. Yeah, you better back away, boy. You're in for a world of hurt if you think you're getting between me and this man's safety.
Please look after him, Miss Nightingale. My brother and I will visit soon.
Florence. Incredible teleporting Nightingale.
Well, look who's here.
We were very worried about you, sir.
You're looking spry for a fossil, sir?
A man's friends are the best measure of his worth. I'm proud to count you among mine.
The danger's past us. No need to leave, sir.
What Mr. Darwin needs now is rest. To that end, he's joining his family on the Isle of Wight.
Rest, indeed. I shall start work on my next book.
I must insist that you recuperate quietly, sir.
The acquisition of knowledge is in itself sufficiently recuperative. Go, tell her.
This is one fight I aim to avoid, sir.
Thank you for everything, my friends. Ideas, like people, can only thrive when they're free.
I guess Nightingale's going with them. And there we go. Kidnapped the police without being detected, and we got a unique material, the dinosaur talon. It is actually true that after his visit to London in 1868, he went on to visit the island of Wight. So that's some good research on Ubisoft's part. And he did begin working on a new book in 1868, specifically The Descent of Man, which was published in 1872. It's too bad he never mentioned it at all. I'm pretty sure one of these assassins could have told him about, like, the first civilization and the pieces of Eden or anything like that. But alas, in-universe at least, he'd go on to mislead the world, and the Templars would go from trying to discredit him to making his work a smokescreen to hide what really went on in mankind's history. But we are not done with Charles Darwin, or Charles Dickens for that matter. Since I did pre-order the game, I do get the Darwin and Dickens missions.
Come on!
Are they worth a pre-order? I would say not. I will be getting into that.
Come on!
They at least distinguish the Darwin and Dickens missions from the regular ones by the color of the icon.
Come on!
Did you see that the direction thing was pointing me in the complete opposite direction? Hey Darwin, how was your vacation? Darwin and Dickens Conspiracy, Darwin's Orchard. We covered Darwin's Orchard at the docks.
My young friend, I'm sorry to be so blunt, but I need to ask a favor of you. A delivery awaits me at the docks, a very rare orchid, all the way from the island of Madagascar. But there is a problem. One of my associates wants the flower for himself. He sent ruffians to collect it, if you can believe that.
Oh, some friends you have, buddy. And there's the ruffians over. Of course it's blighters.
I need you to collect it for me first.
We need to reach the docks before they do, and I think I've already failed. In fact, I'm gonna restart the mission right here, and I think that'll load me in at a slightly better checkpoint. Let's try this again. Oh, and by the way, Darwin did publish an entire book on orchids. Yes, Charles, I know we will be getting you pretty flowers, just like Evie got Henry his pretty flowers. You don't have to worry. Fuck. Actually, it's probably easier. Just go up here. Go up here. You know no longer easier.
Come on! Move it!
Alright, I think this is a strategy.
Come on! Yeah! Faster! Come on!
A little bit early. We should make it. We reach the dock before the thugs. There we go. Confirmed. For whatever reason, there's still thugs here, but
I can get a shot!
yeah. The orchard is over here now. It's a little different. I guess it's random. Says the thugs reached the docks, but we got here first, and we need to return to Darwin in the carriage, which is easy peasy. Out of here, Rook.
There you
Go
go.
see Charlie.
Yeah! Faster!
So again, this seems like it would be a regular mission. Considering the difficulty, or lack of time, I suppose, or maybe just the urgency or whatever, might have even been the original idea for the final mission. In any case, we got Darwin his damn flower. Don't expect Evie or Henry or anyone to propose to you, Darwin. You know, on account of you already being married.
Easy, easy.
You don't need that fan fiction.
Come on! Easy. Move it! Yeah!
You thought I was gonna run him over, didn't you?
Ah, thank you, my young friend, thank you. This little orchid may seem inconsequential, but it holds secrets which could potentially change our very understanding of the world. It would have been a shame to lose it. A shame indeed. Thank you.
If the camera was a little bit better rotated, could have been another cool image. But despite some struggle, we reached the docks before the thugs a second time and returned to Darwin in carriage. Alright, Darwin, show 'em what for.
You tell us where Bronson went.
Someone out!
Aren't you bothersome? This path won't end well.
I don't know why Darwin didn't do anything. Man clearly has no fear. Threaten him with a hidden blade, he just brushes your arm to the side. Bunch of people from a secret order trying to kill him. He doesn't care, he doesn't even want to know. He likes to live life on the dangerous side. Not in any way like the real Charles Darwin, who was much more meek and much less assertive than this one. But that's a fun thing about historical fiction, you can play around a little bit. It didn't make him out to be an asshole, at least.
Take that! Come on! Move it! Come on! Out of my way! Move it! Faster! Yeah! Come on! Come on! Easy now.
No idea how the fuck you do that, because I'm trying it.
Faster! Whoa! Yeah!
Yeah, that was a drift.
Slowly. Come on! Come on!
I shrug my shoulders, I really do. Alright, in the foggy nights of London, we have to meet up with Charles Dickens. And this is when it actually becomes a Darwin and Dickens conspiracy and not Darwin asking Evie to bring him some pretty flowers. No romance. I mean, granted, you're probably trying to get laid and not have any romantic involvement. But we're not taking the risk. Alright, here's our brewskis. The big CDs. I gave you Darwin's model highlighted like that.
Should have just stayed at home.
Looks absolutely pissed off at Darwin. Alright, our mutual friend. Create a friend of Mr. Dickens and Mr. Darwin.
Ah, my dear Darwin, do you think our young friend here, equipped with a multiplicity of talents, might be enough to ensure Mr. Hammond safe passage?
I do not believe I've had the pleasure of meeting a Mr. Hammond.
A mutual friend of ours. He arrives in London today.
From South Africa, no less.
Mr. Hammond is possessed of both tremendous wealth and charming innocence,
which makes him rather attractive prey for some of our great city's less savory inhabitants. We fear he'll need a more robust escort than two old men might provide.
I'm actually rather busy.
We have already told him to expect you.
His train should have arrived 10 minutes ago.
Then I shan't keep him waiting.
Splendid.
Off you go.
Should have done that earlier. Alright, enjoy your drinks, you three. So, did Charles Darwin know Charles Dickens? As far as I can tell, no, he did not.
Slow down.
We'll actually get some supplies. There was a famous 19th century author that Darwin was a huge fan of, that you might have heard the name
Here
of.
now.
I'm sure some of you, especially when you were taking high school, have read the works of Mark Twain. Darwin really enjoyed his story, The Jumping Frog. Just a neat little tidbit. And I'll tell you more about that story later, because there's a bit of humor to it actually, as is tradition with anything Twain related that, you know, is really popular. Alright, locate John Hammond, there he is.
Mr. Hammond, I believe?
That is correct.
Evie Fry. Mr. Dickens sent me to meet you.
Oh, good old Dickens. How very kind of him. Lead on, then. London. Can't say I've missed the weather. My father passed away recently, and I have come home to settle his affairs. Also, I am to be married.
You don't sound too eager for the happy event.
I have never even met my future bride, Bella Wilson. It was all arranged for me. She may be a good woman, or she may not. I stand to inherit a vast sum. Can I be certain that the lady is not simply in it for the money?
Homie, if this is an arranged marriage, it's pretty much always in it for the money. And you know, that's not necessarily a bad thing. The Darwins and Wedgwoods would frequently intermarry and stay as a close family for economic reasons. And Darwin had a very good relationship with his wife. Hammond, you are not the badass you are.
My will is too much attention. That did give me an idea. Perhaps I can test my bride's sincerity.
Homie, this is an arranged marriage. There's no fucking sincerity.
I am now officially dead and have thus shed my fortune. I shall meet Bella Wilton as a nobody. We shall see if she'll have me now. Come, we must dispose of my body. Find us a carriage to take us to the river.
Homie, I don't think you understand what an arranged marriage is. Like, she's not marrying you because she has the hots for you or anything.
Go on.
It's arranged.
Easy girl.
Yeah, Charles Dickens novel, actually. This is literally the plot of one of his stories. So it could have been just a series of Dickens missions. In fact, it probably would have been like the story that was originally thought of for him before they went on to ghost hunting.
Come on.
You have to throw his body in the river, because of course, you know, like, a random fucking body in the river, they'll definitely identify it as this guy. If those blighters hadn't attacked us, like, and for whatever reason they did attack us, his plan would be fucked. Alright,
Whoa there.
Park here. Get out our perp. Alright, let's see what happens if we throw him on a boat and not the river. Oh, it has to be in the river. That's actually kind of funny. Alright. Hold on, Mr. Hammond. I think I might fuck this up. And splash. Man, the death of a brutish bald man is about the saddest thing in all of Victorian London.
I feel quite liberal.
What the fuck were you doing? What the hell, man? What the hell was that?
Excellent. Now let us go and meet my fiancée. I can't wait to see her response.
We're walking there. I don't trust you in a carriage. You fucking killed yourself, dude. Like, this was supposed to be pretend. I try to stay alive amongst these horses, man. Pretty sure this is by Alexander Graham Bell's place. Yeah, it's in the neighborhood. Or borough. I recognize the architecture and whatnot between the boroughs. Oh.
Miss Wilson?
Yes?
My name is John Rokesmith. I'm afraid I have some terrible news for you.
Oh?
Your fiancé, John Hammond, was found dead in the River Thames this morning.
Oh, how awful! Poor Mr. Hammond. I am at a loss at what to say to you, sir. You must forgive me.
She is delightful. Why, I do believe I love her.
I hope she's more intrigued than she is appalled.
I'm right here, asshole. He's like, you know, beating his fist in his palm. Yeah, Mr. Hammond was found dead in the river this morning. Just everything about this is ridiculous. Alright, so we need to head back over, and once again it is a C. So it'll be Charles Dickens giving us a mission. Which makes sense since it is based on one of his stories. I have no idea why Darwin would be involved with it, other than to have a Charles Darwin and Dickens conspiracy DLC. The road rage thing is also a bit inconsistent, like sometimes it works when you run over and kill the blighters, sometimes it doesn't. Or maybe it'll just be this asshole.
Cupid and I require your services.
I don't have an arrow, but I have this big boy.
There is work to be done in the name of true romance.
Arranged marriage.
I say, I have need of your help again.
An artful plan. Help John Hammond win the heart.
Cupid and I require your services.
Win the heart of your girl, or the girl. You want just help him get his waifu to love him.
You remember that young lady I was engaged to marry before I feigned my death so that I could see what sort of woman she was? Well, I have good news. I'm now in love with her and I want to marry her after all. And I need you to help. I have a rather artful plan. You, playing the part of a ruffian, will kidnap her. Then you must bring her to where I am waiting. I shall leap from a shadowy corner and beat you to a pulp, thereby saving her life and winning her heart.
Have you thought this through?
Now, put me down somewhere insalubrious and I shall ready an ambush for you. Somewhere in Lambeth should suffice.
Even if you beat the absolute shit out of Evie, you still have to explain about faking your own death. You know, whatever. Let's not question this man's logic because he doesn't seem to understand his own half the time. We'll just, you know, give him his fucking waifu, and we'll be on our way. I guess we'll pretend to get our asses kicked and be on our way.
Easy, easy.
This'll do. Looks rough enough. Off you go and nab her. She's at Waterloo Station, I believe. Oh, and make sure you play your part well.
Why is Evie helping this asshole? It's like, why can't she go to Dickens and say, hey buddy, your friend's a bit of a loony. He belongs in the funny farm. If only we didn't do the Lambeth Asylum stuff. We were able to do this before the Lambeth Asylum missions. He could go where he belongs. Oh, this is stupid. I'm at the very side of it and no entrance. still better romantic subplot than Jacob and Evie. Not Jacob and Evie, Henry and Evie. Oh, good grief. I made some fanfic wieners very happy. Target located. Vault located. Let's go in for the capture. I am in the wrong fucking train station, aren't I? Alright, all these years of seeing Princess Peach kidnapped by Bowser has prepared me for this. Well, not the wrong train station, but the wrong area. You know what I mean.
You're coming with me. Act natural.
Stop! Help! Oh my goodness!
Alright, we need to deliver the goods to John. It's basically an escort mission.
Unhand me this instant!
Like with Dr. Schwartz. Or the criminals for Aberline. I saw one Let's Play of this where she just kept breaking free and the person was just having so much trouble.
This is terribly inappropriate.
Yeah, look where Evie's hand is. It is terribly inappropriate.
What's all that about?
We make for a peculiar pair. You'll be found out in no time.
I don't think I'm able to get down this way.
What's going on?
Is there nothing I can say to make you release me?
No, Evie, this would be a good time to just explain everything that's going on. Like, you know, John's alive. I think this is where we met Ned for the final part. Or, you know, final talk for the Ned missions. Or maybe it's a first talk. We saw Ned there, that's important. But Evie could explain, oh, this is actually all some elaborate ruse by John. He has a hots for you, he wants you to like him back. Please just like him back so we don't have to do any more silly business for him.
What's all that?
Something needs sorting over there. Is that trouble?
Like how everyone's aware that she's being kidnapped and something fishy is going on, but no one's helping. Occasionally pop into Eagle Vision to make sure the path ahead doesn't have any police. As you desperately try to figure out where the heck is the exit to this place. There we go. Real careful here, because this is the last trial. Alright, let's find a carriage and shove her in. Go figure.
I have no money, you know. You shall be sorely disappointed if you think you shall profit from this.
What's going on?
Joke's on you, I know
Why
about
are
your
you doing
inheritance.
this? Can you not say anything? I demand you explain yourself at once.
We need a parked carriage and there's one over here. Don't knock her out. That guy's committing a crime, but we're too busy committing our own.
Move it! Faster! Yeah! Come on! Come on! Move it! Yeah! Come on! Come on! Faster! Come on!
Roughen her up a little bit, make it believable.
Watch it!
Get over here, bitch. And there's that guy there.
Help! This brute has abducted me!
Unhand her, ruffian! I shall save you, madam, for I am John Hammond, your fiancé. Fiancé! Oh, girl!
There's a lot of health.
Take this, you rogue! Take your punishment! Clearly, I am your better. I should have actually. This has gone too far. Please stop. Take this, you rogue!
Like how he actually complains after a while.
Clearly, I am your better.
Suspicious.
Take this, you rogue! Take your punishment!
I had no choice but to kill him. Rip John Hammond. He died as he lived. A bit loopy, to be honest. So it is possible to lose that fight, but it's a bit difficult considering how much health he has.
Ruffian, I shall save you, madam, for I am John Hammond, your fiancé.
We'll do this Pokemon style.
Take this, you...
And he takes a hit. And I get a hit.
Take this, you rogue! Take your punishment! Clearly, I am your pet. This is gone Take this, you rogue! I should have actually. This has gone too far. Please stop. Take your punishment. Clearly, I am your better. Take this, you rogue!
Wonder if it's possible to die by this
Take
guy.
your punishment. Clearly, I am your better.
What a happy coincidence that you were here to save me.
Wasn't it? And if you will allow me, my dearest Bella, I shall forever be by your side to protect you from this day forth. Come, my dear, let us be gone from this terrible place, and I shall explain all.
And there goes a happy couple.
I'm certain Mr. Dickens and Mr. Darwin would like to know of their friend's good fortune.
I mean, technically, they didn't even know about the whole arranged marriage thing as far as I'm concerned. And there you go. If you ever worried your waifu isn't gonna love you, then fake your own death. Then stage a fight in an alleyway with someone brandishing a large-ass knife cutting through your flesh. Thanks, Rook. Oh, it's on the side here. It's
Queen, what's her name? Well, I think you've had a few too many.
Probably right.
Oh, blimey! Damn!
Oh. Please, let me go! Just a kid!
Alright, are we all quiet? Why the fuck are you even in the bar, kid?
Would you look at that shameful display?
I don't know if it's just shadows or if you're like the one black person in all of London. Oh, soak it in, pal. This is like the one black person in all of London.
Just stop. I don't want any more.
Or it's a glitch. We don't accept glitches in this part.
And so all's well that ends well. Our young lovers are united at last and will soon marry.
I too hope to meet a man who will fake his own death and arrange my abduction just to see if I can be trusted.
And by the looks of you, they really hit it off.
I must say, it's all rather exciting. I do love these sorts of tales.
It all feels strangely familiar. I wonder why. We should drink to John Hammond and his unconventional idea of courtship.
Indeed. To John Hammond, our mutual friend.
Dickens' face in the left there. And an artful plan was completed. Alright. So, what do I think of it? And what do I think of the Darwin missions? I'll start with the DLC. Firstly, I don't exactly see too much of the appeal of it. Like, as I said before, the story itself is basically from a Dickens novel, which makes up 2 of the 3 missions, and the other mission is just getting an orchid for Darwin, which doesn't even really involve Dickens at all. It's just Darwin asking you. All 3 of these missions seem like ones that would have just been fine as the standalone missions or the optional missions in the main game, not part of any DLC. I guess technically it is a bit of a conspiracy, but I think if they are going to go the route that they're taking here, where these 2 are messing around with regular people's lives rather than being part of, like, you know, conspiracy like Assassins and Templars, then they could have used like a few more missions of different people having their lives messed with. Not really give the whole illusion. As for the Darwin missions, I thought they were pretty alright. I mean, since I'm doing it at the very end of the game, it's more or less the stuff we've done before. It's track down a person and lead him away. In fact, there's actually 2 like that. The most interesting ones were in the middle, where we're handling all the propaganda. The flower poison or hallucinogens from the pots were a neat little mechanic, and it was kind of fun to meet the guy in the video game. But that does actually conclude all of the missions in the game. And as far as I'm concerned, because the game is not functioning properly as far as helix glitches are concerned, and again, the social glitches don't count toward the helix glitch things. As far as I can tell, like, I've tested it. I'm pretty much done. Like, I've done World War I. I know for a fucking fact I got all... Oh, it says the Thames. I was gonna say, I know I got all the World War I glitches. I've done the story, I've done the side objectives, I've gotten the collectibles, done the races and the fights. I mean, I should be about as synced up as I can possibly be. The only thing left is a few new capes and outfits that need to be purchased. And actually, I think it's crafting gear. Alright, so we need to get some money for the legendary assassin belt. But we do have everything we need for the nightshade cloak. So I might as well put that on. I don't know if upgrading counts toward it or not. Like the full synchronization. Oh yeah, let's get a shot with these two. Alright, not there, Evie. There we go. Nice photo finish with our bros. Charles Dickens and Charles Darwin. This is also a good shot. Oh, damn it, Darwin. Turned your head. Ruined the picture. There we go. That's a good shot. See, I'm a photographer at heart. So I'm gonna grind a little bit, which shouldn't be too much because I'm almost at 10,000. Hell, I can probably do it on camera even, because it is really not much. Kind of hope those two stay there.
He doesn't have enough coin.
Oops. There we go. Alright, so everything else is crafted. The only thing left is this. And that means we have all of the items in the game, at least the ones that aren't Ubisoft Club rewards or anything like that. Have all the like bullets and voltaic bombs and whatever upgrades. Got skills. Should be in progression log actually. Let's see that. So story done. Associates activities done. London stories done. And we've got almost everything but these helix glitches that simply refuse to show up. I have no idea why. So I'm going to count that as done. And so with nothing further, we are going to call it a day. I hope you enjoyed the episode and I gave you something to think about. Nice shot with Dickens in the foreground. Gave you something to think about and otherwise entertained you. Take care. Got a few more shots. This will make for a great thumbnail maybe, if I remember.